All right, everyone, we have some breaking news. Trump has invited Rodrigo Duterte to the White House. Now, you'll know Duterte as the rather colorful leader of the Philippines. A lot of people really like him. A lot of people really hate him. There's not a lot of in between. I think we can analyze him fairly, though. I don't agree with Duterte's specific policies with regards to, like, cleaning up the drug problem in the Philippines. That being said, at least he's trying to do something about it, which is more than it appears that they saw from prior leadership. It's sort of like here. You don't have to believe in the hardline, like, police-state approach to the drug war. I certainly don't. I think we should end the drug war and go in totally the opposite direction. But at least there are communities now that realize, number one, there is a problem. Number two, it's possible to at least attempt to do something about it. If you don't agree with the tactics, that's one thing, but at least an attempt is being made. I think that the states here, personally, that are going the opposite direction are doing better. Duterte has also come up with other gems over time. First, threatening to throw his political adversaries out of helicopters, along with drug dealers and other criminals. That people thought that was funny. Then he sort of kind of backtracked, but didn't. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of serious, but it was a little bit hyperbolic there. I'm just saying that it would be funny to do so," basically, was his non-excuse at the time. Meanwhile, he was laughing the entire time. He's a little bit like the Filipino Trump, honestly. Perhaps a little bit more hardline, honestly, than Donald Trump is. Recently, I think actually 2 days ago, he threatened to cannibalize. Well, first he threatened to invade. There's an island there that's kind of held by, I think it's Abu Saif, some sort of Islamic rebel group that he's had problems with, and they captured some tourists or journalists or something, and he threatened to invade their island stronghold and kill everybody. Then he said, "Oh, and if we catch any ISIS members here, bring them to me, and I'll eat their liver with some if you give me vinegar and salt," and that was kind of surreal too. He has indeed overthrown what had been the status quo in the Philippines. Again, you can think of that as a good or a bad thing, but he's obviously brought change there. I think ultimately it's probably more of a good thing than a bad thing. It's not like the Philippines for a long time, like Thailand, honestly, have been sort of the play place of the Western business class, like the upper middle class, like white-collar people. They go to Thailand or the Philippines and they hire hookers and they snort coke and stuff like that. And unfortunately, what that's done to the native population there is it's caused widespread degeneration of culture. It's caused a lot of drugs are in the Philippines and Thailand. You have continuous problems with these. So for him to try to clean things up there sort of robs, I think a lot of these Westerners, including some of the politicians, they just want to be able to go to the Philippines and hire ladyboys or something like that and shoot heroin and do it legally. And Duterte is raining on their parade. He's preventing them from having their illicit fun that they can't do here in the United States. I guess they'll have to go to like the Yucatan now or something like that, somewhere else where there's less order than Duterte's order. I think it's good, though, that he's being, summoned to the White House to meet with Trump. It legitimizes him. Make sure the Philippines are rather important. The problem is Duterte, because of the alienation that his policies faced with, like, the Obamas of the United States, it looked like he was going to lean towards China there for a while. And then he said, "No, I'm more of a free agent." When Trump was elected, and now he's going to meet with Trump, hopefully they can hammer things out, smooth them out, make sure, yes, indeed, we've been allies very closely for quite some time. There's no reason for bad blood between our respective states. It doesn't matter if Duterte has some wacky ideas. At least he's trying. There are a lot of leaders in the world, they don't even friggin' try anymore. They don't even attempt to address social or fiscal problems. They just sit back and embezzle money. It's literally all they do. Even if some of what Duterte says, like, well, throw people out of helicopters and I'm going to eat their liver, isn't probably going to happen, at the very least, it's a mind game that's sort of played on those groups. Islamic terrorists there, or drug dealers, or some of the Western business classers that go there to hire hookers and stuff like that. At least it's screwing with their heads. So I would say, yeah, it's a good idea. He should have him over more than once, actually. And Trump, so far, in a diplomatic sense, has gotten along fairly well with, it seems, most of these people. other than Merkel. But it's kind of difficult to get along with Merkel. It's difficult to meet with somebody when your gag reflex kicks in the second that you see her. Kind of difficult. Now, I don't have a very high opinion, as you know, of Angela Merkel. Duterte's better. Yeah, at least he attempts to do something different instead of staying with the status quo that obviously isn't working. I think she might be mentally not quite all there. And I don't mean in the sense of insanity. I mean in the sense of being a bit underdeveloped in her stratagem. Merkel, you can think whatever you want about her scientific acumen. That doesn't mean that she's a good policymaker. Duterte, meanwhile, is sort of like a right-wing Maduro, or you could say. Fiscally, not necessarily. Socially, I suppose you could say. And it is going to clean up the Philippines a bit. Apparently what they've done is drug users, they get taken involuntarily and get rehabilitated. Now that is going to be hit or miss as far as its effectiveness. As far as those actually dealing it, they're fucked. They're getting beaten and shot in the streets. But when you've got prevalent problems with tens of thousands of drug pushers that are slowly intoxicating your whole population, it's almost a little bit like Duterte is like the Vlad the Impaler of the Philippines. Like, you have to have, under the circumstances, you have no choice but to have someone who's going to be a strict law and order, almost authoritarian, at least for a while, to clean up the problem that was created by neoliberals and neoconservatives, which are a problem everywhere in the world. They're not just a problem here. It's in the Philippines. It's everywhere else. About the only places you can go that you don't have that problem are places where far worse groups are present, like North Korea or Venezuela, where something even worse actually is in charge. So I would say, yeah, Duterte, it's pretty cool. Anyone that threatens to eat the liver of ISIS members is at least tolerable in my book. That's about all. Peace out.